Hi everyone. This is like my 5th take on this, so hopefully I get it right this time. I wanted to come on here today and talk to you about something that I'm learning to understand and that's helping me in my healing. And that is that pain is relative. So sometimes we'll be in a situation or in like a long-term abuse and think, wow, they're lucky they didn't go through anything that I did. Like thinking about your friends or other people in those situations, like I feel so like that I've suffered the most. You know, they haven't experienced anything that I've been through, but like you don't know that. You don't know what they've been through. And then the flip side is you hear someone else's story and you think, oh wow, they've really suffered. They went through a lot of abuse. And then you start to downplay your own abuse, you know, like, wow, maybe I haven't even been abused compared to what they went through. Like, should I even consider myself a victim of abuse? You know, they went through so much more than I did. So we always have to remember that pain is relative. And there's one photo that I saw, I think it was on Pinterest years ago, and I've saved it, that it showed like an alpha wolf, and he had died, or he was like about to die, but he was still standing, and he had like 20 arrows like shot into his back. And then below him there was a baby wolf, and he died, and he only had 1 arrow in his back. So, and then it said pain is relative. So we always have to remember that just because it's something that maybe you could have tolerated, maybe someone else wouldn't be able to tolerate that much, or vice versa, you know? So how do we know what the other person can handle? We only know what we can handle and how they made us feel, you know? So I'm just trying to gather my thoughts. I thought I was going to remember everything that I wanted to say. It's also a little bit difficult to talk about, so please forgive my rambling. But, oh yeah, I was talking to one of my friends about abuse, and she said, you know, like, it was another similar thing about pain being relative, but she said, like, someone can drown in 6 feet of water, or someone can drown in 6 inches of water. They still drowned. So that really opened my eyes when I heard that, because yeah, it's true. Like, don't downplay your own suffering, because I was talking to her about like my own history and story, and you know, I was saying, but that, you know, that wasn't compared to anything that my friend went through. And she said, you know, and then she gave that example, like, you can drown in any amount of water, you know, whether it's 6 inches or 6 feet. So that really helped me to understand not to downplay my own story, you know, and what I'm feeling. And sometimes with physical abuse sometimes with emotional, mental, and psychological abuse, you don't necessarily remember what they said to you, but you remember how they made you feel. So that's all I wanted to say to you. Just don't downplay your own experiences, because only you truly know how they made you feel. And also at the same time, we shouldn't also think that we were the only ones suffering, because there are other people out there that maybe we think they didn't suffer as much as we did, but they maybe just not be telling the full story. So we never know. And I'm sorry there's so much traffic. When I came out here, there were no cars. I was trying to get away from the dogs barking, and then now I'm just hearing all the cars, so I'm sorry about that. And I forgot to bring my mic, so I don't know how this is going to sound. And on top of all that, with all my rambling and forgetting what I was going to say. Anyway, I hope this helped you to just remember that pain is relative. Just because someone else might have gone through something seemingly more traumatic, Sometimes physical abuse seems more traumatic than emotional abuse or mental psychological abuse, but sometimes the latter can create more problems because they're invisible and we can't see them, and they infect us internally. So they can do a lot of damage because those wounds are sometimes harder to heal when we can't really truly see the damage that's been done. And I'm in no way trying to minimize any pain or hurt or trauma that physical abuse victims have gone through. I'm just trying to make that point, that sometimes it's just really difficult to tell what someone has been through who's been emotionally, mentally, and psychologically abused. So anyway, just remember, you're not alone. We're healing together. And yes, let's just continue to heal and be there for each other. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. 2 things I forgot to mention. One is that I am obviously out of shape because I've been like walking slowly and huffing and puffing throughout the entire video, which is so embarrassing. In my defense, I was kind of trying to run away quickly from the dogs. So let's just leave it at that. And 2 was that, oh yes, please, if you have any tips on things that you've learned on your healing journey that can benefit us and help us as well, or any of us watching this, please feel free to drop them below in the comments, because I would love any tips and any healing advice that any of you have that have gone through similar situations. So thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye.